Hello everybody and welcome on YouTube to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 20, Week 2. Today we're taking another look at the Knights Who Say GG, the Hero In team, taking on How to Train Your Guardian, the Granola team. Last time, there were some people who got swapped out of Disruptor arenas, and I cried. We'll see if they can get their act together a little bit more this time. It definitely feels like you're definitely going to want to change your pick strategy after that game one. Because they had this very coordination-heavy team, and I thought if they picked that, maybe they could be walking that walk. They can't. You cannot be picking... Like I said during the downtime, that DP hero is so dependent on your team. That DP wanted to see arenas catch like 3 people in them, and the Disruptor arenas, not the Mars arenas, catch like 3 people in them, and like the VS slop somebody else in there. You know what I mean? The DB did not want to see the Disruptor arena hit one guy who gets glimpsed out of there or like swapped out of there or something. You know, that's not what they wanted to see. As a result, the pick really fell apart. So I think they need to be. Yep. Damn. So sad. I think they definitely need to be thinking more of like a brute force strategy for this game too, right? Like they need to be thinking about balling, because not balling is what got them last time, right? Like ideally you want to have like Low was on a very self-sustaining hero, and Hero In, to at least some degree, was on a self-sustaining hero, though not really one in the context of that game. Right? Like, you definitely want to see a little more of that. Like, if you're going to have communication issues, you want to pick heroes that are going to be centered around that, like Sniper, for example.
Alright, so...
Is this going to be goofy-ass support Sniper, maybe?
Yeah, it could be. Bait them into picking Spectre, and then, your Spectre count as a useless support hero.
10 seconds remaining.
Hey, weirdly enough, Sniper has that stupid... I don't know if you've seen the video where it's like... Because his vision goes so far forward, when you hit take aim, you can just use Yule Scepter, and you get like a massive overwatch of an area.
It's so fucking stupid. Why is this
it
game
is.
The way that it is?
10 seconds remaining.
Because the top 10% of heroes get thought about, and everybody else gets goofy gimmicks to try and make people make funny clips out of them. That's what the game is.
Radiant team ban. Radiant team
Mostly the same ban strategy, both
Look at the
teams.
dead Spectre. So do we have a carry Sniper?
I guess so. Mostly the same ban strategy this time around, though. And one notable exception is they banned out the Warlock. They did not want to trade that. Not that I necessarily think you are that worried about it. Warlock is a win more hero, just like period. He's not going to be able to turn around a down team's fortunes. He's going to be able to help prosecute things for a team that's winning, I think, in basically every case. You know, if you're losing, you got a Warlock, all he ever does is fail to run away from fights and die a lot, so... Windrunner, very early Windrunner here. I'm guessing probably support based on this pick positioning, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, because we don't know what the Sniper is.
Yeah. Definitely feels so far like big high alpha damage guys are going to be in good supply. We're going to be bringing out the Slardar, who's not like the highest alpha damage guy, but he's not bad. Interesting selection. Here I want to see more of this season, I think. I already talked about, I think Slardar is kind of in the pits right now because good Slardar players still don't have faith in him, but I think he's actually pretty good right now.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know if he's good this game. This doesn't look like the best Slardar game in the world. This looks like you're going to be missing Windrunner a lot and not being able to actually get in the Sniper's face unless he really messes up. But I mean, if you want to talk about a team botching positioning, you went on a 15-minute rant about that for the Knights Who Say GG back in Game 1, so I guess that ain't that bad. I guess it is decently likely. Unless you get some, like, really big save heroes. Unless you get, like the Oracle on the Radiant or something.
Radiant team pick.
Hero.
There's Jack. Again, interesting. It just like Game 1, does not really feel like Granola is picking with any thought about what the Radiant is doing. It's just picking a purely like front-facing lineup. Like Jakiro does not really interact even with either of those two heroes. It's like the Macroplier is bad for both of them, but he's not the best at actually keeping them there.
Radiant team pick.
And there are two heroes that very easily get out of it. Here's a third one.
Yeah, and he makes everybody else get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're shackled, I guess.
True.
10 seconds remaining.
For the most part, I like the Centaur Warrior here. It
5
is
seconds remaining.
for how their execution came off game one, a guy who can kind of substitute for that a little bit. A guy who can kind of say, we made a little slip. Never mind. JK. Big disengage. I think that's pretty good here. He's a big circle who stands in front of you with two very squishy heroes on his sides, so I don't necessarily oppose the Centaur pick so far. It's not inspiring, necessarily. It's not exciting. It doesn't, by itself, do anything. It hurts to start our pick a little bit. It's just that it kind of fills some check marks for, like, okay, we need a big tanky hero, and this guy is a big tanky hero, you know? It's like, that's where this pick is at right now. Not necessarily a bad thing. Taking some reserve time here. Don't blame them, this is a pretty big pick. I need to think a lot about. If you got the second pick, you gotta pick either your mid or pause one here. You have no other options, so, or at least you have to have picked your mid and your pause one at this point, or your pause one.
Pause one could be sniper, you know.
Could be.
Dire team pick.
Pause one sniper, pause two wind. Oh,
Be picking up
it's
the
still on the
clockwork.
table. Pause one sniper, pause two wind is still on the table, boys. Could be 1, 2, 3, 4 pick order.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
You ever seen a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pick order?
I don't think so.
We won't
be
see
awesome,
one today
though.
either. Probably 1, 5, 3, 4.
Maybe.
But it's Sniper Wind Ranger is a terrible lane, so I don't know what the fuck Sniper's doing. 2,
Dire team
5.
She's just running the Ursa right back. I mean, this is a really bad Ursa game with, you know, 3 heroes that very easily kite him, and a BKB
The
piercing.
last game was a terrible
Yeah.
Ursa game.
A
Last game was the
BKB
worst Ursa
piercing.
game, actually.
A BKB, and I think this one is worse. I think the Clockwork is worse for him here. He's got the good lane into the Centaur Warrunner, which is definitely
They
better
have
than his
almost
lane
the
into the
same idle
other.
animation, so there's that.
What?
They have almost the same idle animation, so
Sure.
there's that.
But yeah, the Clockwork, you know, has a BKB piercing stun. Oh, rain stopping soon. The Clockwork has a BKB piercing stun and puts up a whole bunch of gears around her so that prevent him from leaving. But also, last game was an unimaginably bad Ursa game where he could be kited 6 ways from Sunday, and that didn't actually happen. They picked
Didn't
it, but
get
they
kited,
failed
yeah.
the execution on it.
10 seconds remaining.
So, safe, I guess.
Team ban.
Doesn't really combo that well with
That's
most of the
good.
rest of his
We can-
team.
Okay, so they're banning sniper counters for the last 4 heroes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much of a sniper counter the Void Spirit in particular is, but
10 seconds
it is at least a
remaining.
hero that Gundam play. I
Right
think
up
this
to
is
you.
most played.
5 seconds remaining.
Man, that Invoker might see a few more of those bans. I know they gave him a stupid change recently. I don't know if that's still in. I mean, they did give the game 2 major patches right in a row for some reason,
Team
so.
pick.
Alright.
Okay.
I mean, if it ain't broke, I guess.
3 of this same heroes.
I do think some of the changes make that a lot harder. I mean, if I'm being fair, because I have been pretty harsh on the hero win team thus far, a big part of why last game went so bad was just because the man himself was on a hero that really had nothing to do in the match, right? Like, they really didn't have a pause 3 on this lineup. And they definitely do this time. I mean, Centaur into Ursa is going to be hell on earth in the lane phase, but you don't really care that much about that matchup afterwards, unless you get, like, really caught. Bad news is, you're going to need a BKB, you're going to need it soon, and you're going to need to find a lot around it. Because if you get chain stunned, Ursa eats you, and you die.
And
Every
plus
time.
all your armor's broken, so...
Yeah. I mean, not like it matters. It's not like Ursa really interacts with armor particularly. Muerta.
Muerta.
What is going on this team?
Muerta's carrying...
Yeah, Puzzle and Muerta.
I'm assuming mid. Yeah.
Yeah, Whimsical's on the Windrunner, so yeah, it's the Blue Jay Sniper. Back for the first time since Season 13. Can't wait.
Okay, so... Muerta game is questionable.
I think it's actually pretty much fine. I think the only thing you're that worried about is the Chihiro. The thing I'm more worried about is that Muerta's a really bad hero right now.
Yeah.
I think it's really good into the earth, so it's like a horrible 1-1 matchup for him. It's pretty solid into the DK. I wouldn't really say he has it any better. The Slardar can't do anything about her at all. So in that vacuum, it is like a strong counterpick.
Because you're 100% playing around ulti, so...
Yeah. The good news is that you do have good disengage between the Centaur Warrunner and the Clockwork's ability to both can provide vision and, if needed, get in there with a hook shot and break things up. You do have the ability to power play that. Clicked on OBS again and it almost crashed. You do have the ability to disengage around the ulti, so you can fight around it, I think. But again, it's going to come out to execution. That last execution looked a little rough, so it kind of remains to be seen if we're going to make it that time. Yeah, but I think you gotta have faith. If you've picked this lineup, you gotta have at least the faith to say, you know what, we botched it last time, we know we botched it. This time we're not gonna screw it up. This time we're gonna get it right. I think you can, again. I think that the issues that they have with the coordination in the first game are fixable in one lineup, in one lobby between then and now. The issues that they had in the first game are fixable by this. Hey, I don't know. Hey, Blue Jay, you're calling the shots this time. You know, if we're fighting, if we're not fighting, it's on you, right? Or hey, Heroine, or hey, Whimsical Dragon, or hey, Law, or Watkins, somebody. You're in charge of saying, you know, whether or not we engage or we disengage. I think they picked a team that's got a lot less room to stumble on each other this time. Like, the only real self-grief you can do is with the Clockwork Gears, so... There's that element of it. I'm optimistic for this game, at least. I don't think this is, like, decided in pick phase by any margin, but I do feel like they have some advantages, and I feel like even though they had that many of the same advantages the last time they dropped the ball, I think you can learn from that mistake in the course of one game. I think you can try to run through what is actually a creep camp now and die. Shoutouts to whoever decides to change the map every single patch and enables things like this to happen. Because in the last version of the map, that's a clearing. You just go right through there. Very sad.
You carry immediately bind to the other carrier before the game even starts. That's the rare one.
They're actually doing a good job on the Granola team as well. Everybody was kind of like holding it to try and get Earth to the first blood specifically. It's the wrong tab up there. I was like, hey, how come there's only one person with the last hit there? Mostly slow start to these lanes otherwise. There is one thing, like, one patch ago, this sniper versus Dragonite, or I guess one major patch ago, this sniper versus Dragonite thing would have been like horrible for sniper. This would have been like unplayably bad for sniper, but I think now that Dragon's Blood is gone, it just, you know, slowly levels over time. But now that that's gone, this is a much easier lane for him, I think, because you get a lot more done by just casually right-clicking his back a lot, as opposed to before where that would accomplish literally nothing. So as a result, I think as time goes on, this should be a little bit more sniper favored. Like, when he starts doing real damage with his right-click, it's going to get pretty rough. Because it's going to definitely outpace the Dragon's Blood armor regen for at least a long time. Like, until you start talking about, like, double-digit levels, it's going to be outpacing.
Attack.
Large camp. Well, he did. He did, in fact, attack large camp. He may regret his decision, but he did do it. He's gonna punch every gear except the one he really should have. There's one bad thing. It's like, last time, Granola was in this dreadful Ursa game. He had a bad lane, and then he turned around from it. But this time, he's gonna have a much easier lane. Like, this sucks for the Radiant here.
He's completely free in this lane.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Ursa, very binary hero. You know, he either is going to have these very free games, or he's going to have these very ungodly games, and there's not really anything in the middle. Ursa doesn't really have an average game, per se.
Yeah.
And that really goes double for lane phase as well. Like, you got the kill shot at least. It goes double for lane phase as well. Like, either Ursa is going to have, like, a clown lane, and he's just going to die a lot, and things are going to suck. Whereas he's going to get 3 billion kills and just not worry about, oh my god, the deforestation. Not going to worry about anything at all in his life, and this is a ladder. Hero in starting out by stacking up on the braces here, which I think is probably the smart move. Because really, armor doesn't do anything for you this lane. Ursa more or less ignores it. He almost doesn't interact with armor as a stat, like, at all, right? Just because of the fact that Fury Swipes doesn't care about it.
Yep. And that's most of your damage.
Mm-hmm. And Jakiro doesn't really do any physical damage at all. He's just purely magic damage of various sorts. So, definitely do not want to be building into, like, the phase boots immediately or anything like that. I mean, is he going to want boots at all? No, he's got horsepower, so he's not going to be even building boots in lane. Though I will say, I don't think I necessarily agree with the Vanguard early. I mean, I know you're getting it for the halberd, but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you might be better. You might be better served with either just like a little bit more regen, something like Vlad's maybe. Could definitely be nice for you. Something with a little bit of regen, something with a little bit of staying power. Maybe casual cloak to be able to ignore the Jakiro. Because that's what's gonna basically, you know, the Ursa's gonna be able to screw you up, but that's what's going to. Yep, rep Shadow Shaman got here just in time. The Ursa's gonna kill you dead when you're at like half HP, but it's Jakiro's job to get you there. So if you get the casual cloak, it does hurt his ability to do that quite a bit.
Radiant structures.
Certainly isn't anything that looks like a pipe or Eternal Shroud game. Well, I guess you are Centaur, so it's never a bad option, because no matter what happens, you're going to be beating yourself up at least. But still, maybe casual cloak, something of that nature. Very slow. This is a weirdly low power. Oh no, he's just going to watch the DK get a regen round. Assassinate him! Oh no, he has no mana! That's so sad! He's got a clarity in his stash and he isn't calling it. I'm gonna cry for Blue Jay. Very low stakes mid in general. Neither side is like getting any last hits. This top lane, like one guy in top lane has almost as many last hits as the entirety of bot. Also, they caught poor Jakiro on his way back from securing that rune. Rest in peace.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, thus far it looks like we're in Backwardsville the first game. Like, the Dire are winning all 3 lanes. Not by a lot, but they're winning all 3 lanes. Well, this, like, dead mid is very different. It's very
I
odd
would say
to
they're
see
winning
that.
bottom by a lot, but the other ones are pretty, at least, you know, somewhat
Yeah.
palatable. Well, I don't know why Slaughter is hurting for XP. Like, he has a lot more last hits.
Just going in and out of the lane, I think. He has a lot more last hits, but his, so far it's been, he comes in, he gets a wave, then Clockwork drops all of his buttons on him, and then the Muerta drops all of his buttons on him, and he has very little HP and just needs to go home. If you're in that situation, more Regen is your friend.
Seems they can just kill this shaman
Yeah.
at will at this point.
And this did give the Muerta ult. It's
Yes.
kind of bad. A little haphazard about this. Haste on the DK is running to top. He's got the right idea, but unfortunately for him, he ran right past a ward here, so everybody knew it was coming.
Yep.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Huerta's going for the rare power treads with the different stat item build, which still works to this day.
Crazy. Doesn't do anything, but it works.
Yep. Weird how that stayed in the game so long. Like, that's what an obscure interaction. What watch? This is really bad for the Slardar, my friend. Very good use of the, okay, very delayed use of the ult. Definitely should have used that earlier if
Both
you're gonna do
lanes
it
are
at all.
popping off right now.
Slardar going down. And we got
Emperor's
here.
dead. Well,
Yep, trade the 5 for the 3 there, which is, you know, I often say if it's a 4 for a 5, the winner's really the pause one, because at that point, unless the 3 won really decisively, both guys kind of have to stay off and cool off, and the pause one wins in that situation, generally speaking. Spoilers, pause 3 for pause 5, that is always a win for the pause one. There's no deeper meaning to that. So both sides, the off lanes are falling apart a little bit. I gotta say, I expected it more out of the Centaur than out of the Slardar. Like, I thought the Centaur was gonna do worse than he is. Like, I thought the Centaur was gonna be sitting here with 15 last hits right now. All things considered, no, well, don't do it again. It's all things considered, he's not doing bad. But Slardar, on the other hand, like, this is a kind of a bad lane. Like, it's not double melee into double range necessarily, but like Shaman's range is pretty low and his basic attack isn't very good. So he's not much more than a melee hero.
Every coin helps.
Compared to the Muerta, who's very ranged, and the Clockwork, well, he isn't ranged. You know, by the time Shaman walks up to him, he's already in gear range, so pretty much nullifies any advantage Shaman has off of that.
okay, more to. Oh!
It's fine.
Really?
Gets the fear.
Yeah.
Slardar has to be happy.
You're
with
gonna
his
play for
player.
about half a second. Some vague, very vague action in mid.
Yep.
TPs.
The Shaman and the Clockwork both rotated out here. I believe Clockwork here first. They're going on the Centaur here. He does not have ult right now.
Top tower is
But they did get a very good chain stun on the Ursa. He's going to be
60
fine.
million
Watkins has come
stuns.
in. He has his hook shot, but the guys in the other team are so far gone already. They wisely just turned around immediately when they saw the Centaur not die. So wow, Gundam gets away with 80 HP here.
Dire's middle tower is
Good net
under
worth
attack.
chart. Same, sort of the same story. This is, outside of the Slardar, who is like pretty gone. This is a pretty even situation.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Gonna get the Jakiro here. Once again, looking for the Centaur here, the Ursa. This time he has the
Dire's
ult, so he's
middle
not
tower
really that
is under
scared.
attack.
Actually, the Ursa himself could be in kind of a bad way here. Could survive a lot with good use of his ult, but problem is this guy doesn't really do damage, especially now we only have one level of double edge. So
There's no hook shot.
yep, there's no hook shot. There's no damage done by the Centaur. They need somebody in one of the other lanes. Oh, nice. Somebody who is a spam bot has come into my chat. Away with them.
Find the best Dota 2 betting.
Find the best buy viewers.
Dire's middle tower
It's a
is
strange
under
thing to
attack.
do, buying viewers. I think if you're on Twitch, right? Like, for the majority of people on Twitch, I think what most people want to do at this point is make money. I think it's kind of self-defeating to buy viewers, then
Radiant's
surely.
bottom tower is under attack.
Spend money to make money, you know?
There you go.
Okay.
Lot to go on the sniper here, though many TPs coming in response. Centaur ult is going to completely save, and the
okay.
Clockwork is going to come in to try and get the guaranteed kill on the rebound. They do get it on the Jakiro. He's tracking the Dragon Knight here, but the Dragon Knight is so fast, and the Radiant is so slow they can't actually get him. Are going to turn around, get the
No mana for sniper.
yeah. No mana for sniper, no flares. The Clockwork, get off of hookshot, please. That's all that's happening here, is just supports, but I was such a big go on sniper that losing 2 and taking 0, even if it's just supports, not great. Though once again, it does feel like we're in kind of the same situation as the first game here. Like, I'm looking at the scoreboard. Yeah, I see 1 death that's not on support on the Granola team.
Yes.
They
Yeah,
cannot
again,
get the
like-
cores. Make no
Oh, how
mistake.
is this happening again?
Very nice. Okay, I tabbed out because I was like, oh no, is that my internet or something? But, make no mistake. It's much better to get a support than nothing at all, but it is much, much better to get a core than the support here.
Dire's bottom
Well, I said
tower
I
is
don't
under
know
attack.
how the support thing is happening again. Other supports just
Because they
high
pick
out the
supports,
best variety.
they pick supports that don't have escapes, that need to like do something to stun. Like, you basically your window to get away as Shadow Shaman is your W, and that's level 1 right now.
Yeah.
Once again, the Ursa going on the Centaur here.
Swing and a miss. Oh, shot. But it doesn't matter. Sure. It might matter.
Passive blade mail?
It matters.
Passive blade mail? I mean, it's not that great. It's not very good into Ursa anyway. No, not now. What? What the hell was that, heroine? No. He didn't hit the blade mail when he was taking all the hits, and then he like walks back to T1 and hits it for nothing. What was that? Very odd.
Sometimes you just forgot you didn't use it, so
Yeah.
then you gotta hit it out of frustration.
How's
you know?
the game 1 too? A lot of passive blade mail use on poor Mr. Hero, and I hate to flame the guy for him. I feel like I'm dropping a 10-ton piano on this guy today, but going to go on the Muerta here. But they can't actually do anything to her because she's ulted and they're just gonna lose people. Oh my god, the shaman lives. Never mind. They almost let their tower get denied, funnily enough.
Clockwork is walking around.
He's found the DK here.
Oh,
DK is afraid. He's taking like no damage. Okay, there we go. Got the DK finally.
this
That's a
Clockwork
big
play is
kill.
really good. Oh,
It's a good power shot
Yeah.
too.
this Clockwork is like an MVP player right now.
Yeah, compared to the last game, I'm not gonna lie to you. The last game there was a little bit of bungling and bumbling on the on that VS play. He played VS like the henchman of a bad guy in a comedy. This game though, definitely looking very good. He's playing it very aggressively. He's playing it forward. And I think that's a very good change for this team. In particular, it's giving them something to latch on in like a fight. It's like if you see the Clockwork hookshot come out and it's good, like you know you have an opportunity to either fight or escape, and it's I think a lot easier to visualize what you should do in that case. Like you see the Clockwork hookshot land on a vulnerable single target, so you engage. You see the Clockwork hookshot land like in the middle of the 5 guys running at you, so you know to disengage, right? Like it's a good skill for that, and it's something this team desperately needed. What they definitely didn't desperately need is for the Clockwork to walk into the enemy secret shop and die for no reason. That's not good.
Unfortunate.
Team could also definitely use a little bit of help on the vision front, even though the Radiant are winning. Yeah, wouldn't know it looking at the ward map. I feel like there's a decent chance. I know Wafortkins isn't really a support player. He's mostly a 1 player, I think. Whimsical Dragon, though, I expected better of you. He's too used to playing 4, perhaps? I don't know. I see he's buying some, so, you know, there's something going on there. But I'm not going to go too deep into the weeds on the warding because, you know, it is a 2-minute delay, not a 5-minute delay, but we'll talk about that after the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Going all in on the Centaur here. Centaur just gonna hit a button and nothing's happening. And the power shot misses. Cringe.
I wouldn't have killed him anyway, you know?
True. Still cringe. Blue Jay! This is scary. Yeah, has no idea how much pain is coming for him here.
Yeah.
And has
Wait,
no Force Staff, has no mobility items of any kind. Great hook shot. It's
Clockwork's
actually
kind of psychopathic, but it's working out.
yeah, it did work out. They got the DK for it. Oh my god,
Holy,
Granola
what
is
a
very
psycho.
low.
Oh no, the worst.
This sucks. He's gonna get away for it. Ursa would be crazy to go in on that, because I think if he gets power shotted, he just dies.
Yeah.
Awkward 3-for-3 trade. The Dire came out on top of it, 1644 to 1284. Though, given the amount of gold that changed hands, like, wasn't that huge. I do think it did kind of favor the Radiant to a degree because it did give La the opportunity to just sit here freeform for a minute. But
Yeah, that's another insane clock play that made that happen. Like, it would have just been Blue Jay dies for nothing. He didn't do that.
yeah. It's also a good sign that they lost what was tantamount to a... Or they pretty much stalemated what was tantamount to a, you know, 3v5, because the Muerta wasn't there and the sniper died before anything happened, so...
Yeah.
Definitely is going to be a sign you need that Hurricane Harbor Pike on that sniper. You need it yesterday. And yeah, indeed, he is going for the Force Staff ASAP, which is good. He needs it. He very needs it. He very needs to get that Force Staff quick. Maybe needed it before he got the Dragonlance this game, honestly. Gonna be smoking here. 3-man. The Centaur, Sniper, and Clockwork smoking out here. They're gonna find Ursa. Gonna find Ursa, but he's gonna like blink past everybody by total accident. He's going to get caught in gear jail and die.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Say that.
I will carry this game.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
P1 top's going to go down.
Has fallen.
My wind.
It's gonna be okay. She's. Oh my god, the dodge!
Oh, no.
Radiant's
Not
middle
like
tower
this.
is under
One
attack.
more hit. No.
Nope.
Dire's top tower is
Oh no, baby, that's not good.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
It could actually be worse. That probably should have been a moment where all these guys TP down there to do something about it, but... So they're gonna do the Tormentor, and nearly all die.
Damn it, so they're gonna do this useless objective.
You know, it's funny, people last patch were talking about how the everyone was going the exact opposite way. It was like, the Tormentor is by far and away the most objective, like the biggest objective in the game. It just gives you like a 3k gold jump at 15 minutes.
I think it's just funny because there was one season, I don't know if it was the last one or the one before that, where there were literally like 5 plays where people did Tormentor and died. And instantly lost the game.
Yeah, it's true.
And I had yet to see one Tormentor play where they did Tormentor and then won the game because of it. So I don't know.
Well, the problem is that it's very easy to see when you flub it and you like lose a game as a result, but it's very difficult to
If
see
we
a game.
if we see a big Gale Force play in this game, then you know.
Yep. I think the big thing is I have at least seen one game. In fact, a game you were in where you lost because you didn't do the Tormentor. Like personally, because you're the only guy who didn't have a shard, and you would have won if you had it.
Well, I'm sure it was like
that?
a billion years ago mentally.
It was. Oh no, it was just a billion years ago. They're doing Roche on the Dire. Nobody has even the slightest inkling this is going on. They're scanning it out.
Are scanning.
Pretty late at this point.
What is this? What is this sacred relic for on Ursa?
Nole, he's got the helmet already.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Clock! No! He was so close! That was so close to the best play you've ever seen, but he hesitated. Does he have full inventory? Oh, no, baby. Oh, clear his slot before you do
Still be
something like
good.
that. Yeah, it's still gonna be a win, though. They did still get the, DK. They lost the Windrunner,
Maybe it's
that's
not good.
fine.
Maybe it's
Okay,
actually
Morta
terrible.
is in no man's land.
Okay, it's not good at all.
Going to get the Ursa for it. You're gonna take the Aegis. It's still not an equal trade.
Yeah. Blue Jays is
Centaur,
concerning
Blade
game,
Mail.
though.
Okay, I guess it does interact properly with Fury Slips. I swear I
Oh
used to
my-
not do that.
Good God.
It's also got a
That's
Crimson
all
Guard.
incoming damage, so. I assume all meaning all. There's not things that randomly aren't under the purview of all. But you never know with this game.
Well, the thing classically is like if it's damage that's not sourced from the actual hero, then it doesn't like apply. And
I think everything applies now.
yeah, I believe that at the very least for a very long time it was like the Fury Slipe's bonus damage was just like a separate instance of bonus damage that applied, like not even pretending Ursa was a thing. An interesting Gale Force play there. Still a rough thing to get because even with that being said, he does still have the R button, which just gives him that 80% damage reduction, which means if he hits R and hits you, you don't have Blade Mail. But he does also have to use his R to do that, so, you know, it is a trade.
Yeah.
Slardar's packing his BKB. He's got his 9-second BKB at this juncture. DK, nearly finished with his. Ursa, not even building one at the moment. He did just finish his Noli off the back of that fight. Just like really bad for Muerta. Good news is that Noli does not care about your BKB.
Yes.
So it's a lot worse for a lot of other heroes than it is for Muerta. Problem I'm looking at this, and I see a BKB behind the Hurricane Pike, which is not an item that helps you with Nully. I feel like it's just pretty much the same game as the last one we saw. It's just the Granola and everybody else club right now.
Yeah. And DK's building more defensively than the last game, so it's not like he's walking all over the game.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to like carry as effectively as last time. He does still have that Mjolnir queued up though. Chris has got himself a basher. He's not going for the BKB. He's going for neither the BKB nor his Ags actually. He's not building defensive at all right now.
No.
He's queued up his shard, and that's like the most defensive thing they've got at the moment. Two-man smoke here into Radiant's jungle. If somebody had an okay idea with where that scan was, if it was like a minute ago, that would have been accurate. Alright, this is going to reveal here on the bottom wave. No, they're at bot. Guys, you see two on the tower now.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And they're going to say, okay, T2 for T2 here, which is weird. But they're not even going to make an
I think Dire
attempt
can TP.
Dire's top tower
to defend it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they took
like-
they took it and they TP'd in. But it's a
That's
very
kind of a bad
slow,
trade.
it's a very slow entry here though, and Ursa notably still not actually here yet. Still not actually here yet. He came into like mid. He's going to immediately eviscerate the clockwork, which is really bad for the rating here. Slardar is going to run past everybody and just get the sniper. They're going to lose the DK for it, maybe? Are they going to lose the DK for it? Does she have enough mana to do power shot? She does. She's not taking it, and she missed the power shot.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh no, baby, that's horrible.
See, you had to see that coming at that point. Like, you're not killing this tower fast enough to trade with them, and they could all TP.
Well, the thing is, you should at least hypothetically be able to all kill them on the inside of the TP. When you TP, it's a very slow process, and like Ursa wasn't in that fight for like 30 seconds, it felt like, right? Like, you had a lot of power play without him. The problem is that the damage kind of came scattered. The damage came very scattered. It didn't feel like there was a target they were all going for. They saw the DK, they dropped a bunch of skills on him, he didn't necessarily die. Then they all switched to the Slardar. Then they heard the Ursa showing up, so they all tried to kind of break formation and run, except they didn't get out with the Centaur ult. So, you know, the Slardar and the DK were able to just jump behind the blinds, get the sniper. Like, it's just very scattered. It's like more of a showing of what this team looked like in game one, I think. The notable thing there was that the Clockwork was very sidelined. During that fight, he didn't really get anybody with a hook, he didn't get anybody in gear jail in a time that they were actually, like, vulnerable at all. And they lost him very quickly into it. And, kind of shows the weakness and shows the game plan of how you consistently, reliably win fights as a Dire. If they don't have the Clockwork, that Clockwork means a lot more than literally just the gears. That Clockwork is like almost the brains of this team. He's like almost the soul. Like, you look at this,
Sniper.
he's still dead.
Oh.
Though the Centaur ult unfortunately came out somewhat late here. Yeah, that's your sniper for nothing. But you sideline the Clockwork, and this team is like in a rough position, and now already they've kind of lost faith in the hook. It just took one bad fight, and then that fight turned from, you know, he got this huge hook, go, 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 to, we can maybe save that guy. And there goes the clock again.
Okay.
We can maybe save that guy, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to wait 3 seconds and the sniper's still alive, I'm going to hit the Centaur ult, you know. In fairness, I think it was on cooldown, but, you know. Still. In unfairness, it shows this team breaking a little bit, mentally. And that's where the issue is right now for this team. It's the mental game. It's something I noticed in the last series I covered as well, but it's very noticeable with this lineup.
How does this keep happening to the Blue Jay team?
Good question.
And that it all ended the day that game 3 with Manoy, you know?
Yep. He didn't hit the ancient. It shattered him.
Yeah. He would be a 3-time champion if not for that.
Here's a funny little pro tip for you, right? Especially since you already got the Crimson Guard. Don't do Halberd in this situation. The reason Ursa is able to do things right now is because of the Noli. Get the Lotus Orb, and he has to at least pop the BKB for it. Shaman gets shredded here. Shaman doesn't get shredded? Holy crap, it took an hour to even kill the Shaman. Marta in some pain here. Is going to actually get out. They're going to trade the support line for just a Centaur, which right now I think is going to be a winning trade. Okay, it's not going to be a winning trade if they also catch the clock. Actually, no, they're so down right now, I think they actually did end up making the money off of that. Oh no,
Yeah.
just barely didn't. Pretty much a stalemate.
Double damage.
Much ado about nothing, as they say.
Yep.
Radiant are scanning.
Feels like this team doesn't really... It feels like this team is very poor at taking fights when they're not the ones doing the initiating. When a fight starts with like a big clockwork hook in, feels like they go awesome. When a fight starts with the enemy team initiating for this lineup, right? Even if the counterattack is good, like even if a good clockwork hook comes out, I feel like... Again, it's just the same dilemma as game 1. I feel like you've got this mix of the optimism and the pessimism. You got some guys who want to prosecute it, you got some guys who want to go back every fight, and it has to be 5 either way. You can't have, even if it's it's got to be a majority decision, you can't really be neutral on the subject per se. I guess maybe the neutral take there would be to run around in a circle, not do anything. But you can't be neutral on the idea necessarily. But, even if it's 3-2, if it's 4-1, and that 1 is like a super important guy, if that 1 is like Clockwork, if Clockwork is the only guy on his team who wants to disengage, that's probably fine, because he can turn around and he can correct that decision on a snap judgment. If Centaur Warrunner is the only guy who wants to disengage, or even engage, again, he has very good ability to quickly change his mind on that front, right? But when... Centaur, Morta, and Windrunner want to keep the fight going, and Sniper and Clockwork don't. When, Clockwork, Sniper, and the Centaur want to keep the fight going, and the Morta and Windrunner don't. That sucks. That's not good.
Roche.
Gonna do another Roche here. It's gonna be a very free Roche. Halberd has come out on the Centaur at this point. Ursa does not have BKB, but he does have his Shard, he has the Enrage on his Q, and he has the ult in general. They actually just caught the DK who's alone top there and sniped him out while it was going on, which is a nice little pickup for the Radiant. 1,180 gold, and means that the Dire are not really going to be able to necessarily fight them for a minute. Unless they do this.
Unless they do anyway. Yeah.
No, the unless they do means the Dire are not going to be able to fight this out unless Centaur Warrunner clicks Fountain and Sniper clicks Fountain and the Clockwork and the Windrunner want to stay and press the advantage. If that's the case, then Dire absolutely can't fight.
The amount of time you just gained, you lost.
Yeah.
By doing that, yeah. So it's more of a lateral trade, killing.
Oh no, it's a bad thing for the Radiant because they needed that advantage, and when you take the Clockwork for the Dragon Knight, then the Dire still has the Aegis.
Yes.
They still have the ability to just operate
They
freely on the map.
this time, so there's that. You traded your clock for about 45 seconds of Aegis time.
Perfect. And you also lost. You had the big opportunity cost loss there. You did not get to take advantage of the situation. In that case, I'm going to flame the guys who right-clicked Fountain because you really, you're down, right? the Ursa has the Aegis, and that means you're almost assuredly not going to be able to get him. But like, you're the down team. You really, even if Muerta wasn't there, you really wanted to take the power play. Or at the very least, if you're going to take the DK and go, you take the DK and actually go.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with Prosecutor, because I think the Muerta TP'd out of there. I agree with Prosecute it more than I agree with Retreat, but I would agree with Retreat more than I would agree with 2 people retreat, 2 people stay, 1 person TPs in any time of the week.
Radiant's top tower
Blue Jay,
is
can you
under
please
attack.
draft a play color? Like a
Blue
really
Jay is
loud,
not the
but
captain
really
of this
aggressive
team.
play color. Oh yeah. My bad. Heroin, could you tell Blue Jay to draft a shot color?
Blue Jay did not pick people.
No.
This was not a conspiracy on the part of Blue Jay.
No, it's mine.
He's on the One Runner.
Okay, fine. Someone tell Blue Jay to force Heroin to pick a play color. There. Does that work?
Yeah, they definitely changed how this has worked over the years, because I also know this used to ignore damage block too, and I don't think it does anymore with this.
No. I don't know, like... I feel like Radiant needs a super loud, super aggressive play color. Just...
Yeah. They kind of... I don't think he was loud necessarily. I don't know how much was, like, talking, but... When they were leading, it felt like the clockwork, you know, was just directing every fight. And when that was the case, it felt, you know, this team felt very rip. Whimsical Dragon, that was very fast. I mean, he's got DD though, so it makes sense. When the clockwork was on top, he was giving this team direction, and that direction was all they needed. Like they were very far ahead. It looked like a win was very possible for a very long time this match. It looked like a win was very hard for the Granola team for a very long time in this match. And same kind of went last game, and during the time when every fight could start effectively with the Wraith King. Yep, that's why you don't buy Halberd against this man. Every fight could start pretty effectively with the Wraith King like blinking onto people. During that time, everything was going great, and then the second it became more complicated than that, it just went wrong. So they definitely need, like it's just unfeasible for every fight to go that well. You know, it's infeasible for every fight to go perfectly, for you to get the, you know, the shot on the guy you need, and
luckily,
for that to work
luckily
out.
Luckily this uphill is like trying to fucking play Operation, so...
Yep. All they're gonna get for it are...
Ursa?
T3 in the first life on Ursa.
That was completely psychotic.
I was gonna say the second life as well, but the gears missed, so he's gonna be okay.
No,
And they got the ethereal BKB out on the Muertos. I actually heard 9 there.
You really underestimated how bullshit this uphill is.
Yeah, that was a 4-for-1 trade there. The only person they lost who did buy back, so at least that was a clockwork, and 5,000 gold has changed hands.
I feel like you just keep slow sieging with the DK instead of trying to make a move like that.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Oh no, Heroin blocked the clockwork hook shot with his ass. That's sad.
Middle tower is under attack.
Because now you possibly lose the game.
I don't think you lose. No, you definitely don't, because 3 people have buy. DK even had buy before he bought something.
Like imagine 3 people buy and that happens to you again. I don't know.
Radiant's courier
Just leaving lots of doors
Dire's middle
open.
tower has fallen.
Doughboy sniped courier. He actually could have gotten a lot if he just stick there for a second. He would have gotten 3 couriers and nobody would have been able to do anything about it.
Dire is kind of handcuffed right now because you either pick sniper or you slow siege really slowly with DK, and then like you can't do that anymore when his ult is down. So you don't have anybody
that
else
was
to slow sieges.
Great shot on Muerta's part, and bad news for any Doughboy. Oh, they lost vision. There we go. They got vision again.
Vision.
Bad news for every Doughboy fan in the audience. Get my boy
Heroin
down!
is no award.
Hurricane Pie kill! Get him
Goodbye.
down!
Goodbye.
Every coin helps.
You can blink.
Alright. 5-man smoke here on the Radiant. They're trying to keep the momentum going. Which is nice in theory, but I think you gotta kind of know that after that happens to the Dire, everyone's just gonna be as safe as possible.
Yes.
And indeed, the Dire immediately scan the triangle, find people there, and immediately get as far from that triangle as you literally can.
Radiant are
It's
Sniper
really
KB.
handcuffed right now on Dire. Because now the sniper has gotten like strong enough to kill you all essentially uphill. So you literally have to hope you pick him on the map elsewhere that is not uphill.
Well, the Jakiro is having the classic Jakiro against Clockwork experience, where he just tried for like 10 minutes to actually use a skill, and he only got one ice path off before he died. Radiant feels in control of the game again, and that changes a lot just based on this team dynamic. They trust the hook shots, they trust the blink stomps out of the Centaur again, and when they do that, they have a winning
Yeah, I
chance
mean,
again.
Like they discover that their uphill is basically impossible to hit if sniper's alive.
Yeah, I think that as well is giving them some comfort to strike out there. So McB on the sniper, he's got Daedalus coming out relatively soon. He could get it really quickly if he decided to buy out. Ursa, on the other hand, he's kind of like done. Which is kind of the scary thing, like your uphill is really scary, and Ursa didn't look like he was able to factor much into it, and he's got Abyssal, and he's got the Ag's Blessing. The Ag's Blessing is big, don't get me wrong, that's a big upgrade. It doesn't help you against the new problem on the team, which is a sniper. Which is now the issue that you're really having, is like, it's hard to get in his face. This could be bad.
Ursa?
They are going to get rid of the Clockwork here.
Oh no.
He's Gale
My
Forced
friend
in.
is dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really good play on the Clockwork's part. You know, it was good on the Centaur as well. When they saw the Ursa and the Clockwork meet each other there down by the Twin Gates, you had, you know, the immediate charge. You had them hit the Centaur button to get everyone closer and just engage on him while he was down. Sadly for these guys, the Roche is going to take his sweet time to respawn, and by the time he's up, Ursa's going to be back. That's a tragedy.
Yeah.
What do you mean Windrunner got MKB? What the hell? Okay, sure.
What is this wooden building?
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Um,
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, this will be a very awkward trade. You better glyph. You better glyph quick.
Has fallen.
Okay, no, they're just gonna send the Centaur, and that's all it's gonna take for the DK to leave.
Yeah. Man, just imagine the world where Ursa doesn't blink uphill. The game would literally be over.
I'm imagining it. Time is it?
We wouldn't be here.
We are supposed to be 1 hour into these 100-mile-per-hour winds. But they're not 100 miles per hour right now. Feeling whatever system that is either broke up or is missing where I live, because where I live has weird climate things. So. Granola says a heart in chat. We've got a Falcon Blade to replace somewhere too, also needs the Ag's Blessing Moon Shard. Ursa has Blink Upgrade Ag's Blessing, which he's already working on. The Sniper actually has quite a bit to go, actually. He has to finish the Chrysalis, and then he's got to do something with his Morbid Mask, which is going to be Satanic. And he's got both Shard and the Ag. It's not like the Shard really means much, but hey. Looks like Radiant are going to try to do the Roche here. The Tire actually did the Tormentor, funnily enough.
Dire are scattered.
Tire correctly guess what's going on here. Scan out the Roche pit, but it's way too late to do anything. I don't have anywhere to TP to.
Then.
Radiant are scattered.
Radiant scan out there, but Oh, Che.
Muerta. Interesting.
And since Muerta has a free inventory slot anyway, she has the Falcon Blade, she just takes the Aegis, which I think is for the best, because that means that she has a life where she doesn't have to worry about the Noli. Because that has a pretty long cool... No, actually it has a 10-second cooldown, so never mind.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Granola team, every time the Radiant is making some sort of push, Granola team is immediately trying to backfight. I don't know if you noticed that. Oh, look at Slardar here. It just jumps through everybody going for the sniper. They get him too. It's like the Radiant. The Radiant kind of forgot something here.
Under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Okay, maybe it matters.
The Radiant, they kind of forgot the whole who's the king of town, I think. Notably, the guy
everybody dies.
The guy with the Aegis TP'd out.
Okay.
Okay, so if that's going to be how you're going to play the Aegis, then giving it to Muerta was definitely a mistake. Like, if the way you're going to play with the Aegis is that you're not going to treat Sniper like he's a squishy little garden gnome that the Slardar can basically always blink on at his leisure. Yep, the buybacks come out, Dire immediately leaves. So for the next 7 minutes, Radiant is one garden gnome away from the end of the game. Like, if he dies again, this is instantly over.
I had a feeling that that he destroys his grief, but I didn't know.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine for the Muerta to pick it up, especially considering Sniper doesn't have a very comfortable place to put it. I guess he could sub out the Morbid or the Boots, but both of those I think you would. Maybe you could sub out the Morbid, but still, he wasn't even there. The Muerta having the Aegis, totally fine, but the problem is that they played the fight. They just ignored what was going on the back line. Slardar was able to blink on top of the Sniper, and even after he got there, everyone was ignoring that and just focusing on what Muerta was up to.
Clock is throwing hooks at like Shaman to eat him for free instead of participating in the fight actively.
Yeah, and now he's walking to 5.
Okay, unfortunate.
He ate the cheese? No!
That cheese!
No!
At least given that
Clockwork.
Okay, everyone's dying randomly.
Yeah. I think that fight lost was a big mental boom. They don't believe they can win again, which they can, definitely, still. But they once again believe they can't win, and now it's just getting disjointed and bad again. Nobody knows what they should be doing anymore.
Jekyll and Hyde team.
True.
Unfortunately, uphill's still impossible because there's a sniper, but
Yep.
you know.
Okay, I was gonna say, may not be that impossible. They're just gonna eat the Muerta immediately, but...
It's pretty impossible. Unless you slow siege with DK form, which they don't really want to do, they want to fight with it.
Yeah, one big thing in particular is, even if they didn't if Radiant made no use of the Aegis, at the very least, they denied it to Dire, who really needed it actually in the game, so there's that.
Yep. So there's that.
Apparently a lot of the other series have already ended, so I'm going to just go ahead and chill in my own chat. Ursa has his Ag's Blessing, going for the Swift Blink. Once he does that, all he's got is a Moon Shard. He is almost done. He's really not going to get any scarier than this.
Okay.
Super long range hook shot on the Slardar. They're going to try and prosecute it, actually. Like, big
Yeah,
time.
Okay.
Going to take out the Shaman. Going to maybe get the Slardar? Maybe? No, they have big BKB problems.
Oh, nice ice
Ah,
bath.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yep.
is under
Save it
attack.
for Ryan. Oh,
almost got the kill there. DK now coming in. Gonna slap the clockwork. This guy always has DD when he needs it, dude. This is insane. Gay Ben once gunned him to win.
yeah, it's like the trash mode season 12 rune
Yeah,
experience.
that game just pissed me off. Watching Trash Bro get DD like 12 times. Radiant are still posturing like they want to fight here. I think that's a big mistake. Yeah, they're retreating now, which is the right
You
call.
literally do not fight unless it's uphill, like, or if you have an extremely good, like 99 to 1 level go. Like,
Ah,
if Dire wants to fight you, you can fight. That's basically what it is.
yeah.
Radiant are scanning.
If Dire want to fight, you do not even want to make a real attempt. I think is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Ursa has the
Really.
Ursa has the ability to buy out if he wants.
Yeah.
Don't believe he's going to choose that. Sniper has just finished Daedalus, which has put him well out of reach of his own buyback. Not that he's going to have it for another 3 minutes. Everything slows to a crawl. I believe right now Dyer's just trying to secure map to get the next Roche,
It's only Roche, yeah.
which is just awesome. That's a great LD2L game to watch. The game where you can't win and you just have to sit there for 10 minutes waiting for Roche to come up over and over.
This is sniper gameplay,
Yep.
can I tell you? Fucking
This
dumbass
is
hero.
goddamn slow right. He's pulling up a Hex, which is interesting. The Sniper never got any kind of defense items. That could be big.
That's true, yeah.
If
That could
he's
really
able to-
cripple the sniper.
If he's able to jump on the Sniper, get the Hex on him, they have no ability to save him. There's no Lotus Orb, there's no nothing. Get a Lotus Orb, my guy! What the hell? Hold
Honestly,
on
I
now.
think DK should have bought Hex if we lived in a perfect world, but
There you go. Honestly, I think Centaur should have bought Lotus Orb, and then he wouldn't really be worrying about that too much. Should
well,
definitely
he
get it
didn't.
instead of this heart.
He didn't, and he's not.
Because that gets rid of the nullifier. That gets rid of, I believe it gets rid of the nullifier anyway, and if it doesn't, you put it on somebody, and then the nullifier gets reflected back to Ursa, who really does not want that shit on him. Without a defensive item, notably, this guy, no BKB, so that nullifier gets on him. Life is a little bad.
Radiant are scanning.
You know, notably gets rid of Overpower, which is not a skill you want to lose. They are going to spot out the Slardar here, and they are going to... Oh my god, they got a
Like a
Centaur ult to get rid of him, but they do get him in the end. Windrunner is getting a little crazy here. Yeah, going out for the DK. He's just going to blink away, which might be lucky for her, if I'm being honest. Still, just casual pick of the Slardar, losing nothing. Very good.
Literally sitting at Roche. Vikira's the Roche award right now.
Yep. Say, nearly 2k gold sling. Oh, somebody's listening, because the Clockwork got a Lotus Orb, which is very good. So the Hex... excuse me, the Hex on the Sniper now, not nearly as bad.
Well, it depends, but yeah.
Oh no, there's no depending to it. Either you dispel the Hex, or you reflect the Hex, and neither of those cases are nice for the other guy.
Or you randomly hex the clockwork or something.
Also true, yeah. But I mean, surely the Hex is just going to be for the Sniper, right? Like, you're not hexing
Or
anyone
you
else.
Lotus Orb somebody stupid.
Also a
When Sniper
possibility.
does. There's lots of possibilities, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we have already seen the fights this team has taken where they just, like, leave this Sniper high and dry for no reason. Ursa, Swift Blink literally just missed the Moon Shard now. Guess you could always sell boots if he wants to be really slow.
They just
Hey,
need to buy
seriously?
2 hexes, you know, one for the clockwork, and then one for the sniper. Oh, you already have a hex, you know, the Shadow Shaman. Who I forgot was in this game until right now.
Also true.
So simply hex clockwork so you can't protect sniper from the hex.
There we go. And make sure to always have the advantage. And make sure
To be
there are
fair, I
6 lotuses in the lotus pool that nobody cares about, even though it got pinged.
I feel like somebody who doesn't die within 5 seconds should have gotten the lotus, but it's just me.
Yeah, I would have way more liked it on the centaur. He did at least finish the heart, so there's that. Still no Roche by the... Oh, he's here.
Yeah, he's there.
And Roche roared. Roche roared, doesn't matter.
Are scanning.
No.
Yeah, doesn't look like it.
Oh, Jakiro!
Huerta gonna get it again?
That's
Yep, even BKBs for it. They lose Sniper in the process, though.
oh man.
But they are hammering people on the other side of it. A just popped.
It's Earth versus the world.
Earth is gonna... It ain't Earth of the World, it's a 3v3.
Yeah,
So that was a
there
really
is-
cool play, but the
there is
Radiant must
concerning.
have really felt like they were forgetting something when they were making it. Something very important.
Oh man, that slaughter play was sick.
I just don't understand. How did this happen twice in the same game? How did you get 2 times in a
Is
row?
DJ not screaming on the mic.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Blue Jay scream, cry, throw a fit, throw your PC across the room.
And you also had the slaughter like nutting up with no HP to kill the clock, which was really important.
That is true, but you also have the nobody nutting up to save the sniper, which is pretty
Yeah.
important.
Wow. That's
Everybody
life.
was looking at that pit. Nobody was looking at the one guy who wasn't inside of it.
I mean, it was kind of interesting because the Jakiro's like makes a big distraction play there, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, is Zay just gonna get stolen?" Meanwhile, Blue Jay's dying.
Yeah. Huerta even blows BKB for it too, and now she's gonna blow Living now. Yes.
Yes, but Centaur has to die back first.
Going to
Oh, Blue Jay buyback.
who's
they gotta
love
run.
for it. The hookshot missed. And the assassinate didn't even do any damage because he had ult.
Tower is under attack.
That's really unfortunate. He was about to respawn too. So once again, for the next 7 minutes, Radiant has hell to pay if they die.
Ursa has 11k gold.
He sure does. How is he gonna buy with it? Yeah, literally Moonshard, that's it. Does he even remember Moonshard is in the game? I'll be honest enough to say I often forget it is. Got a refresher on the Huerta. So we can get him nullified again.
How bad does an item's design have to be when you literally only buy it as the last possible option to buy an item?
Yeah, it made a lot of sense to exist back in the day where you only had 6 slots or no neutral items and you had to have TPs or boots of travel. I think it makes a lot less sense in modern Dota 2. When you can eat your eggs, when you have Egg Shark, when you have the neutral item slot, when you have so many, when you don't have to have travels to have TPs at the end of the game or sacrifice a slot for it. You have so many options now that it really doesn't make a lot of sense to still keep it, but what do I know? Oh, he has queued it. He hasn't remembered it's in the game, and in fact, he could buy it and still have 4,000 gold. So yeah, he really just genuinely didn't realize it. Ay, ay, ay. Game is just once again at a snail's pace. Dire once again just securing the map to try and wait out the Aegis. Radiant just once again hold up in base, shooting creeps outside of it for ages. I really wish this was a recording game so I could fast forward through this part. That is some long range abilities, right, 3? That's true, Munchla. Shoutouts to Munchlax, who's in chat. I don't know who that is, but shoutouts to you. Shoutouts to whatever happened 2 minutes ago to make him say that as well. He showed up right at the most exciting part of this whole match. The part of the match where we're all waiting for something to happen. Oi, 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 oi. Oh, still, the lucky thing is, still no 100-mile-per-hour winds. I'm beginning to think that is just completely missed us for whatever reason. So there's that. Again, it was very awesome. I don't think I really mentioned it on cast, but like the forecast, no, I did say this. The forecast was like, yeah, it's not a chance to lose power in cable and so forth. You will lose power. It will happen.
Yeah, that's what happens during the hurricanes down here.
So
So you're losing power, you're fucked.
Dead shot, power shot, hook shot, assassinate. Dead shot, power shot, hook shot, skill
Yeah,
shot.
that's true. It's a lot of shots.
You remember when Shots was a song? That was awesome. That
Yeah,
wasn't
I
really a
remember.
song. Kind of rough. They are going to drop the hammer on Huerta. Huerta's gonna live. DK is gonna die.
Why are you blinking?
Oh my god. That is so painful for the
Why
Dire.
are you blinking into the base? Just slow siege.
Randy's gonna lose it. This DK, it feels like gone. This DK, it feels like the last 3 fights, this DK's entire job has been to blink in and melt. He didn't even use his BKB, what the hell? What an odd decision. I'm gonna push up here. They actually have a lane of racks open, which means that even though the Radiant has been in their base for the last 45 minutes, roughly, they're actually most likely going to be the first person to actually take racks. They've done a good job actually keeping people off of them. It's not for lack of trying on the Dire's part, trust me. It's just every time they've had a good-looking go.
Dire's middle
Okay, no, don't do this. This is crazy talk. You don't even have 5 people here. You're missing the clockwork. The Slarter's just gonna go on the sniper again, and he's gonna live this time, and the Earth is gonna insta-die.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, fans,
uh-oh.
that blink uphill was the biggest grief I may have ever seen in my life. Only
Nope, they're gonna
encountered-
get
only
sniper.
encountered by the- Okay. What is the game?
It is impossible to win against a team that has buybacks, and they didn't respect that fact, so now they just lose.
Why?
Oh, it's Black
I've
Joe.
seen
Shout out to Black Joe.
I've seen uphill throws. I haven't seen 4 uphill throws in one game.
There you go.
Coin helps.
Yeah, it looked like the Radiant were just about to just walk right uphill and win that, and then they, Granola Dota, get 6 slotted, hurt cats to try and hit high ground, immediately lose attention span, hit neutral, creeps against. That's no surprises whose friend that guy is. Shoutouts to catch this. Yeah, they're just gonna kill these T4s through, kill the T4s through backdoor, and then they're just gonna win. A valiant attempt to turn things around for the Radiant. So there's that. That feels like about the nicest compliment I have to say about them this game, because it did feel like you just kind of saw the same playbook once again. You saw a lot of by media hammers push 5 lanes. You saw a lot of coordination issues that just kept leaving Sniper just high and dry hanging. I mean, that's literally how the game ended. Is Slardar and Ursa blinked onto the Sniper. They got him most of the way dead. They got repulsed. And then everyone on the Radiant said, hooray! And when they bought back and just did it again, there was nothing to do. There was nothing, no plans, there's nothing taken. They didn't even try to run away. They just died. Kind of a tragedy in that way. Because, yeah, I don't know. This hero in team, it has to work on the coordination. You cannot keep letting this happen to you. It just feels like every time these guys have a more complicated play, it just all falls apart. When they have a VIP that they need to protect, it feels like in both games they just kind of let it down. And poor Blue Jay is kind of the recipient, both sides of this coin. Like in game one, they kind of left him high and dry as a death prophet, and what it meant was that oftentimes you had a lot of ults that were, 2.5 seconds long before you just got obliterated, and everyone kind of, watched half the time. This game was a lot of everyone protect the Morta while the sniper just gets eviscerated. If this were a really good Morta patch, that might make some sense, but this is like a pretty bad Morta patch, to be honest with you. I don't think that it was worth, sacking the sniper entirely. I think you can find some middle ground here where you keep the Morta alive, keep letting her put out her damage, but you don't keep throwing the sniper so many times. I mean, that go at the T3, at the dire T3 mid, right in the shadow of their T2 where it used to be, where the Slardar just got to blink past everyone, where the first time that Morta got the Aegis, where the Slardar just got to blink past everyone, and nobody did anything about it till the poor guy was already dead. That was, like, rough to watch. It really hurt. Spoilers, true. Shoutouts to Doughboy. Watching that really hurt. It really did feel like at every opportunity that lack of coordination, because it was not the case on the other team. The other team, I'm not going to say that the other team looked like, a masterclass in mic work by any stretch of the imagination. There were definitely some question mark and all chat tier plays made by the Dire, especially on their, like, attempts to go uphill and what have you. But it definitely did seem, both games, like they had a pretty good idea of what their fights should look like, and they had a pretty good idea of how to execute it, and when things went wrong, they had a pretty good idea of how to make things right again, or to make a general retreat. Notably, when Ursa got slapped going uphill, it was kind of rare that anyone else followed him outside of the DK, right? Like, I mean, followed him to the grave, I should say. It was often Ursa suddenly dies, and the other guys are all alive, right? That was happening on a somewhat regular basis. Whereas on the other side of the coin, it's like whenever a sniper died, it just you just have four guys, chickens with their head cut off. The Clockwork Mortar trying to fly, the Centaur Warrunner, and the Windrunner trying to disengage. I don't know. The coordination, it has to improve. That's the X factor here, because the play is fine. I mean, it's not exceptional, but it's like for a week 2 team where you have at least one guy off roll, it's fine, right? It is acceptable. Arg ads sad for you. It is acceptable to have that issue, like the issues in play. I think they can be worked out. The issues in like the atomization. I think Heroine has some things to work on. Honestly, the Blame Hill did do him better this game compared to the first one, but again, in both cases, it didn't really like the Ursa never died off of it. He got beat up a couple of times and had to back a couple of times off of it, but like. The first time Ursa beat himself up in the Belay Mail, that was like the last time something bad happened on it. Every other time Ursa hit him, he had the ult up. He didn't have that much to use it on after all. Every other time Ursa hit him, he just had the ult up and he just got to kill him. Or, and this is the real tragedy with buying Blade Mail on Posture when you don't have to, he just said, okay, who cares about the Centaur then? He's one skill and a kind of poopy stun, just ignored him and just ate the rest of the team, and he was just fine with that, doing it like every time, right? But, shoutouts to the people who are joining us literally at the end. Many people have now joined chat at literally the end of the stream. But, yeah. The itemization issues are one thing, right? But, like, they're small potatoes. This is not like a game-throwing inventory by any stretch of the imagination. I've seen them. This ain't that. Not necessarily. The Windrunner, like, I'm a support, no wait, never mind, type build. Going for that Rod of Atos. Probably doing the same thing Maniac did last week, actually, going, hey, I'm gonna build a Gleipnir with my Maelstrom. Oh, wait. Maelstrom that he was maybe building, I don't know. But going to build it like it's a Maelstrom item. Nope. Right, like, these are small things. The big thing is that in many fights this game, the Slardar and the Ursa were allowed to jump on the sniper, and nothing was really done about it in time. And in fairness, it does take two to tango. There was a lot of fights where Sniper was just standing way too close to the danger, or like the last fight in the base, it felt like he really just didn't acknowledge the buybacks at all, right? Like, you do have that element to it, but I think overall, long story short, yeah, rough communication, rough coordination. They definitely have to be working on that. I think all it really takes is to just draw straws and say, we listen to this guy. And if you listen to that guy, it doesn't work out, listen to the next guy. Take turns. I don't know, but somebody has to be in charge of, say, let's go in, let's go out, protect this VIP. Somebody has to be in charge of saying, this is the important person that we protect. And they gotta get there. Or else it's gonna be a lot of games that look like this, where they almost win. It's going to be a lot of almost winning going on. Either way, anything to say about this?
Don't throw uphill unless the other team also throws uphill.
If you or somebody you know wants to learn Dota 2 at a casual or more competitive level, go to LD2L.GG today to sign up. It's too late to get into this season, but in-houses are an inevitability once we wrap up. Stand-ins are always needed. Keys are popping everywhere you look. LD2L.GG, follow the link to the Discord server, that's where all the action happens. I'd like to give a special thanks to all the people who subscribe to my stream. I am to be blunt, not great financial position right now, to the point where I was kind of wondering whether or not I was going to even be able to do this season, as I was going to need a second job if I didn't get this program, to be honest with you. But, shout-outs to everybody who does, and I would also like to say, anybody who does, you get to skip all the ads. Who won game one? That would be the, not like you're gonna be around by this point probably, but that would be Granola. It's 2-0 Granola. Game two, they just barely won it out at the end. I mean, they had a big gold lead, but it didn't look like it, that's for sure. But either way, yeah. So shoutouts to all the subscribers. You get to skip the ads. I have that setting on. So if you were subscribed, no ads for you. Big thank you to all the people who've done it. And with that all being said, we will see you this Wednesday for the games that you guys put into that chat, which you better do this time, because I didn't get any last time outside of the one that got DM'd to me by the GRAF team. So hope to see you there.